Welcome to the Running Library. Today we're breaking down the key ideas from Quiet by Susan Cain. Let's get into it. Our culture is biased toward the loud, so much so that many of us mistake quiet for weak, even when it's where some of the best thinking happens. Susan Cain's book Quiet is a deep, readable case for why introversion is misunderstood, undervalued, and, when recognized properly, can be a serious advantage in work, relationships, and creativity. Quiet at a high level is about temperament, the relatively stable ways we respond to stimulation, social interaction, and risk. Cain doesn't argue that introverts are better than extroverts. She argues that modern Western culture, especially in schools and workplaces, often rewards extroverted behavior as a default ideal. Talk more, network more, brainstorm out loud, be visibly assertive. And the cost is that introverted strengths, focus, depth, careful decision making, listening, and independent thinking get overlooked or even trained out of people. A helpful clarification Cain makes early on is that introversion isn't shyness. Shyness is fear of social judgment. Introversion is more about stimulation. Introverts tend to feel drained by a lot of external input and recharged by quieter environments, while extroverts tend to gain energy from high stimulation and social interaction. You can be a shy extrovert or a confident introvert. That distinction matters because the solution isn't turning everyone into a social butterfly. It's learning how to work with your own wiring. So who is this book for? If you've ever left a busy event feeling depleted and wondered, what's wrong with me? This book is for you. If you're a manager who keeps hiring for charisma and then wonders why your team lacks deep focus, it's for you. If you're a parent or teacher trying to understand a quiet kid, it's for you. And if you're an extrovert who wants to collaborate better with introverts without accidentally steamrolling them, this book is for you too. Who might not love it? If you're looking for a hardcore, data-heavy academic text, Quiet is more narrative and synthesis than technical research review. And if you already feel fully comfortable being introverted and you've built a life around it, you may find parts of it validating, but not groundbreaking. Still, there are plenty of practical insights that go beyond it's okay to be quiet. Now let's get into 6 key takeaways, with concrete examples you can actually use. First takeaway: the extrovert ideal shapes more of your life than you think. Cain argues that many workplaces and schools are designed around the assumption that the best performers are the most visibly energetic and outspoken. Think about how often participation grades reward the quickest hand in the air, or how hiring processes favor the most charming interview, or how leadership is equated with being the loudest voice in the room. Example: in meetings, the person who speaks first can set the frame for everyone else. If you're introverted and you prefer to think before you speak, you can end up contributing less, not because you have less to offer, but because the structure rewards speed over depth. Cain's point isn't meetings are bad. It's that the default format can systematically filter out certain strengths. Second takeaway: introverts and extroverts respond differently to stimulation, so one-size-fits-all environments backfire. A core idea in Quiet is that people have different sensitivity levels to stimulation. Many introverts do their best thinking when things are calmer. Many extroverts do their best when there's more buzz and interaction. Neither is morally superior. But if you design everything like an open plan office with constant interruptions and non-stop collaboration, you're basically forcing everyone to operate like an extrovert. Example: you may notice you can write, study, or solve complex problems far better in a quiet room than in a loud cafe. That's not a character flaw, it's a performance variable. If your job requires deep work, you're not being difficult by wanting fewer interruptions, you're being strategic. Third takeaway: group work can create energy, but it can also crush originality. Cain is skeptical of the way brainstorming is often practiced. Get everyone in a room, demand ideas immediately, reward the most talkative contributions, and assume the group will naturally produce the best solution. She highlights that many people generate better ideas alone first, then refine them with others. Example: if your team brainstorms by shouting ideas at a whiteboard, the quieter people might never contribute their best thoughts. A simple fix is to do solo first, group second. Give everyone 5 or 10 minutes to write ideas privately, then share them. You'll often get more original, more considered suggestions without losing the benefits of collaboration. Fourth takeaway: being introverted doesn't mean you can't lead. It means you may lead differently. Quiet challenges the stereotype that leadership requires constant charisma. Introverted leaders can excel because they listen, they prepare, and they tend to think before they act. They may also be more comfortable letting others take the spotlight, which can be powerful when managing proactive, self-directed teams. Example: an introverted manager might run meetings with a clear agenda, invite input from everyone, and follow up thoughtfully, rather than dominating the room. In practice, that can produce a team culture where people feel heard and where decisions are made with less ego and more evidence. Fifth takeaway: you can stretch beyond your default personality without pretending to be someone else. Kane discusses the idea that people can act out of character for things that matter, like a meaningful job, a cause, or a relationship, while still honoring their core temperament. The goal isn't to become an extrovert, it's to develop range. Example: maybe you hate networking events, but your work depends on building relationships. Instead of forcing yourself to work the room for 3 hours, you might set a smaller, realistic goal. Have 2 genuine conversations, follow up with 1 person, and leave. You're stretching, but you're not self-betraying. You're using a strategy that fits your energy. Sixth takeaway: introvert-extrovert relationships work best when both sides stop trying to fix each other. Quiet also explores how temperament differences show up in friendships, dating, and family life. A common pattern is one person wanting more stimulation, more social plans, more activity, while the other wants more quiet and recovery time. Conflict happens when each person treats their preference as the obvious default. Example: an extroverted partner might interpret a quiet weekend as boring or distance, while an introverted partner might interpret constant plans as pressure. A practical compromise could look like 1 social night, 1 quiet night, and clear permission for the introverted person to take breaks without it being taken personally. The deeper point: it's not rejection, it's regulation. At this point, you might be thinking, okay, I get it, but what do I actually do with this? Here's a simple 3-step action plan inspired by the book, designed to be practical, whether you're introverted, extroverted, or somewhere in the middle. Step 1: audit your energy, not your attitude. For 1 week, pay attention to what reliably drains you and what reliably restores you. Not what you think should energize you, what actually does. Track it loosely. Big meetings, open office time, social events, deep solo work, one-on-one conversations, quiet evenings. Then ask, where are you forcing yourself into high stimulation mode and all day long? And where could you create small pockets of recovery? Even a 15-minute quiet break between calls or a morning hour reserved for focused work can change your whole day. Step 2: redesign how you contribute, especially in groups. If you're introverted, don't wait for the perfect moment to jump into a fast conversation. Create structures that let your strengths show up. Practical options: send a short pre-read or written thoughts before a meeting. Ask for agendas in advance. Follow up afterward with a clear, thoughtful message. Often, that's where introverts shine. If you're leading a team, build in right first time before discussion. You'll get better ideas and more equal participation. Step 3: practice selective boldness. Pick one area where being more visible would genuinely help your goals. Then choose a version of visibility you can sustain. That might mean speaking early once in a meeting so you're not fighting for airtime later. scheduling one-on-one coffees instead of large networking events, volunteering to present on a topic you've prepared deeply, rather than improvising. Kane's broader message is that confidence isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet competence plus intentional moments of courage. Before we wrap up, let's zoom out to the big idea. The Running Library wants you to take from Quiet. This isn't just a book telling introverts they're fine the way they are, though it does that, and many people need to hear it. It's also a critique of how we design schools, offices, and social expectations. It asks, are we rewarding the best ideas or the fastest talkers? Are we hiring for actual performance or for a certain kind of charm? Are we giving kids room to develop their natural strengths or training them to perform a personality? And if you're extroverted, Quiet isn't pointing a finger at you. It's inviting you to notice the people who may be contributing in quieter ways and to create room for them. Because when you combine extroverted strengths, energy, momentum, social ease, with introverted strengths, depth, focus, careful thought, you get a more balanced, more effective group. So here's the wrap-up. Quiet by Susan Cain is a persuasive, practical reminder that quiet is not the absence of power. It's often where preparation, insight, and creativity live. If you've been trying to force yourself into a personality that drains you, this book offers relief and a better strategy. Understand your temperament, design your environment, and choose your moments to be bold. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more psychology and nonfiction that helps you think clearer and live better, subscribe to the Running Library. And if you've read Quiet, tell us in the comments, what's one situation where being quieter turned out to be a strength? If you found this summary helpful, subscribe to the Running Library for new insights every day, and tell me in the comments what book or article you want next.